So this piece is our final one in the series, I think. It's all about the post-production process and how I got from the raw footage shot on my camera through to the teaser trailer and then on to the final piece. So we completed the post-production largely at home on my laptop. Because I knew that the budget didn't really allow for elaborate film editing software, I knew I had to do it on a program called Shotcut, which is phenomenal considering it's free, but I also played around with After Effects and Premiere Pro at the university. I again researched a load of different ways to format the film, different ways to play with the colour grading and the corrections within the film, and then worked from there and did each clip on a sort of individual basis. During this stage, the sort of primary problem that I faced was the fact that my laptop wasn't good enough. And I know that sounds like a very specific problem to have, but when you're trying to edit like 40-minute clips of film for stuff like this, it's very difficult to do that when your laptop has to take 20 seconds to decide it wants to do something about it. But I managed to combat this a little bit by managing to raise some funds through some other marketing ventures and buy another laptop, which we then upgraded independently. But the whole project has come in under budget, which is great. A key skill I learned during production was planning and patience. I was already quite an organised woman, but having to go through every single shot and every single storyboard and make sure everything's perfect really required a lot of patience and attention to detail and calm. The final hand-in item needed to be a physical copy of something. As much as I would have loved to just scroll down a YouTube URL, the final piece really did need to be a physical handed-in piece of work. So what I did was I researched ways of packaging CDs and USBs and DVDs, because then I could load all of the research and backup stuff and these videos onto the drive that I chose in the end, and then package it in an appropriate way which could be branded to the collection and obviously go alongside portfolio pieces. I did briefly play around with the idea of sending a USB, but it would have been too much to continually reproduce. It would have looked great for the hand-in, but wouldn't have been a viable long-term option, because I would have had to then write to the employer again and say, hey, could you just send me that back? Which wouldn't have been great. Whereas with a DVD, they're currently like 10 for a pound in a pound shop, and then the way that I have chosen to use my CV as a packaging method using origami means that the cover for the CD or the DVD is also easy to replicate and cheap. If I could produce the whole film again, at this stage the only big change that I would make is I would get a crew involved a little bit more. I am occasionally a one-woman show, and I think that I excel in that, but I also do really enjoy working as a team, and I think that had I have worked with a crew, even if it had just been a couple of other people that I trained up in the same way I trained myself, it would have just lifted the whole project just that little bit up.